What's up, Cowboy Nation? Want to be able to talk about this particular thing that's very important about the two running backs that could be considering coaching for the Cowboys. We understand that Jeff Blasco set the team back. He wasn't very experienced at calling plays or designing plays or coaching up boys, and this would be a drastic upgrade in that particular department. The problem is with this is that most coaches, when they have a position, they pick out their staff. So I'm seeing more of the same. Unless there's already a head coach in mind that the Cowboys already is consulting with to go out there to pick up the staff members, this is a very much so working backwards philosophy, right? Because most coaches like to bring their staff with them. Now, with Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones being somewhat or all the way in control of these things, we get these type of news that DeMarco Murry and Tashard Choice are considered being the running back coach for the Cowboys, meaning that we don't know whether or not the head coach would like these boys, but they would be forced upon. It's the exact same thing with the Jason Witten thing. They will be forced upon the Cowboys franchise and organization without the coaching, the head coach consideration. Now, granted, we do know that Jerry Jones is the general manager, and supposedly the general manager is supposed to get things together. But my only setback to this would be to the reality of it is that Jerry Jones is picking everything out before he picked the head coach, whereas you want the head coach to bring in his people and his staff. But going back to this, will DeMarco Murry be a great candidate? Will Tashard Choice be a great candidate over what we had in the past? Yes. In my opinion, I think that this will be a great move. Now, how do you guys feel about DeMarco Murry? He coached at OU currently. And Tashard Choice, he coached for the Hook'ems. So let me know how you guys feel of that. Will that be a situation and scenario that you look at run game and you see him run game, and now you have coaches that used to play with the silver and blue on the star on the side of the helmet to come back into the folds to coach this team? Is that something that we can bring to the table and say, all right, cool? And I know we are so fed up with the Dion Sanders fatigue, right? We're so fed up with that. And we're slightly fed up with the Kellen Moore thing, right? Because we want something that's new. We don't want things that are of the same. In prime time, of course, we'll offer you that. Granted that we're hearing news and storylines that even he is one of those guys that's a strong candidate, but there's so many stipulations to bring him in. You got to do a $10 million buyout. You got to also acquiesce to a whole bunch of things on whether or not you bring his son into the mix. Do you draft his son? Whereas with Kellen Moore, you can go right into the draft and say, hey, yeah, he's a do boy. He would do whatever we say that need to be done because that's just for what it is. He's Kellen freaking Moore. He's not going to ask for a lot of things. But the Cowboys, they need to be right. Maybe they can go out there and say, you know what, we'll circumvent the salary cap for our grandson, basically, because our adopted grandson, because their first son was Jason Garrett, and this is the offspring of Jason Garrett, right? So adopted son, by the way. But I want to know how you guys feel of this. I think that regardless, it's a plus for us to have guys that used to play for the Cowboys to come back to coach. I'm not dogging that. And, of course, we can see that Tashard Choice and DeMarco Murry will be better options than a guy who formerly was a tight end coach for some obscure team to all of a sudden be a first-time running back coach out of Jeff Blasco, which that's a whole nother conversation. Now, back to this conversation of who should be the coach. I just wish Jerry can step back, hire the coach, let them go out and sort out whether or not DeMarco Murry or Tashard Choice or whoever else on this staff can be a good fit. But This is what we do. We like to operate backwards, baby. Hey, post me your thoughts, post your concerns down below. DeMarco Murry and Tashard Choice. One of those boys we're going to be on this coaching staff allegedly. And as they say, reunited, and it feels so good. Boy, we are the work backwards boys. Everybody that the Cowboys tend to bring back already at some point or some shape, form, or fashion either played for the Cowboys or already coached for the Cowboys, and they are seeking to bring those boys back. And if you guys can give me the definition of insanity, let me know. Post it down in the chat somewhere, because that's what we operating out of. And to a degree of even entertaining this stuff that's not going to fall right onto good grounds is even with the Deion Sanders thing. Either you want him or you don't want him. Either you want this or you don't want this. Cowboy Nation, make your mind up and stop being double-minded with all of this. DC for life, not for short. Peace. We about. One love.